High in the mountainous areas of Hue City, generations of Paco and Ta'oi people have built their lives around the forests, fields, and rivers. For centuries, farming has been central to their way of life. Rice and maize provide food and livelihood. But beyond the rhythm of planting and harvesting lies another world, one shaped by spirituality, community, and traditions passed down from generation to generation. Among the Ta'oi, one of the most important expressions of this cultural heritage is the Buffalo Sacrifice Festival.
Held only once every few years, it is far more than a single ceremony. It is one of the village's most significant communal occasions, a time when families come together to honor the spiritual world, pray for prosperity, and reaffirm the bonds that unite the community. For generations, the festival has carried profound spiritual meaning. Through its rituals, villagers pray for fertile land, favorable conditions, and abundant harvests. At the same time, the festival strengthens solidarity and helps preserve a cultural identity that has endured through centuries of change. Long before the main ceremony begins, the entire village is already preparing. Young and old gather at the festival grounds. Traditional dances are rehearsed again and again until every movement is synchronized. At the center of the ceremonial space stands an elaborately decorated pole, which also serves as the post to which the buffalo is tied during the ritual. Its construction requires considerable skill. Villagers carefully carve and decorate the pole according to customs inherited from their ancestors. Among its distinctive ornaments are bamboo flowers, known locally as a noi. Every detail carries meaning. Nothing is placed here by accident. Before the main festival can begin, however, the Ta'oi must first complete a sequence of sacred ceremonies lasting 3 days. The first day, driving away misfortune. The first ritual is called Buk. Its purpose is to drive misfortune away from the village. The Ta'oi believe in spiritual beings known collectively as the Jong. During Buk, villagers call upon these deities for protection, asking them to remove danger, illness, and bad fortune from the community. Traditional offerings include a pig, a chicken, rice, and water. The ritual master and village elders lead the prayers. An important part of the ceremony involves 2 bamboo objects known as asu, which are used for divination. They are cast 3 times. If both pieces land face up on all 3 occasions, villagers interpret the result as a favorable sign, an indication that their prayers have been heard and accepted by the spirits. Once the ceremony to drive away misfortune is complete, another ritual begins. It is known as Ba Hat. This time, the prayers focus on peace, health, and well-being. Offerings include a goat, a pig, and a chicken. During the ceremony, the ritual master uses a bamboo stick to strike a stone 5 times, a symbolic act intended to drive away harmful forces and welcome good fortune into the village. The message is simple but powerful. With misfortune sent away, the community is now ready to welcome peace and prosperity. The second day, seeking permission from the spirits. On the second day, attention turns to the ceremonial buffalo post. Although the festival site has already been selected, tradition requires that the exact place where the post will stand receives spiritual approval. Once again, the asu are used. Only when an auspicious location has been identified do villagers begin digging the ground and erecting the pole. The buffalo selected for the ceremony must be male, a traditional symbol of strength and vitality. The ritual in which the buffalo is formally presented to the deities of heaven and earth is known as mop. But the spiritual preparations do not end there. A group chosen by the village leaves the settlement and travels towards the surrounding forests and mountains. Their purpose is to welcome the spirits believed to inhabit the mountains, rivers, and streams, and to invite them to attend the festival. As the procession returns to the village, participants perform a traditional dance associated with the Buffalo Sacrifice Festival. Back at the ceremonial grounds, villagers prepare to receive both the returning procession and the spiritual guests they believe are accompanying it. Rice, chicken, pork, and traditional liquor are laid out as offerings. Music and dancing continue into the night. For the Ta'oi, this is much more than a religious observance. It is a celebration of identity, a rare moment when spirituality, music, dance, craftsmanship, and folk traditions all come together after years of anticipation.
The third day, the main ceremony. The third day brings the most important part of the festival. The Ta'oi call it Pati. Villagers and invited guests gather around the ceremonial grounds. Above them, bamboo flowers rise from the buffalo post toward the sky, symbolically announcing the festival to the Jong. Sugarcane is also displayed, representing a simple but universal hope that life in the year ahead will be sweet, peaceful, and happy. A ceremonial cloth is then moved back and forth 5 times. The gesture signals to the deities that the main ritual is about to begin and symbolically carries the prayers of the community into the spiritual world. Following the buffalo sacrifice, its meat is prepared together with other ceremonial offerings. The offerings are arranged on 2 levels. The principal tray contains the buffalo's head, 4 legs, and tail, together with other ritual foods. 7 smaller trays are dedicated to 7 Jong recognized in Ta'oi belief, associated with the ancestors, the forest, the sky, the earth, water, the home, and the deceased. Each represents a different relationship between the community and the world around it. Ta'oi and Paco, shared roots, distinct traditions. The Ta'oi and Paco peoples share a number of cultural traditions, yet their buffalo sacrifice ceremonies are not identical. Among the Ta'oi, the rituals welcoming the spirits of the mountains and waters take place in 2 separate stages. Among the Paco, they are performed as a single ceremony. Their ceremonial poles are also different. The Paco traditionally decorate theirs with fishbone-like patterns and 3 descending rings. Ta'oi ceremonial poles, by contrast, are decorated primarily with floral motifs. There are differences as well in the way parts of the sacrificed buffalo are displayed. Among the Paco, they are traditionally placed on a raised structure, while among the Ta'oi, they are generally positioned lower. To an outsider, these details may appear small. Within each community, however, they help define a distinct cultural identity. At the end of the festival, villagers perform one final series of rituals. The deities are respectfully bid farewell and symbolically sent back to the mountains, forests, rivers, and streams. A sense of relief and happiness settles over the village. The ceremonies are complete. The prayers have been offered, and with them go the hopes of an entire community for the years ahead. For generations, this deeply spiritual festival has remained an important part of Ta'oi life, yet its meaning extends beyond belief alone. Once the rituals and prayers are completed, families and neighbors sit down together to share the ceremonial feast. Villages welcome one another, food is shared, stories are exchanged, relationships are renewed. The festival, therefore, becomes something more, a celebration of solidarity, of people supporting one another through hardship and sharing life on the land they call home.
A Gia, celebrating the harvest with the Paco. For the Paco people, another important celebration follows the rhythm of agriculture. It is called A Gia. Like many ethnic minority communities across Vietnam, the Paco mark a successful rice harvest by gathering together to give thanks. A Gia expresses gratitude to the spirits of the land and mountains for favorable weather and a plentiful crop. The festival is usually held during the 10th or 11th month of the lunar calendar. Because A Gia belongs to the entire village, preparations are made collectively. Village elders and heads of families meet in advance to choose the date of the celebration and decide what each household will contribute. Those contributions may vary depending on the success of the harvest and the economic circumstances of the community. In earlier generations, when villages did not yet have communal houses, individual clans and families held their own celebrations. Today, as many traditional communal houses have been restored or rebuilt, the festival has once again become a shared village event. Traditionally, Paco people lived in longhouses containing several family hearths. Groups of homes were often arranged around a large open courtyard, a natural gathering place for communal activities. During A Gia, however, the first ceremonies still begin inside individual households.
Food from the land. The offerings presented during the festival reflect the agricultural life of the community. Different varieties of rice are prepared alongside millet, maize, beans, and sesame. Cassava, sweet potatoes, papaya, and bananas are also included. They are the products of the land, now returned symbolically to the spiritual world as an expression of gratitude. Meat and grilled stream fish are served alongside distinctive traditional foods such as aquat cakes and sticky rice cooked inside bamboo tubes. These dishes are an indispensable part of the celebration. Their preparation begins days before the festival. Villagers travel into the forest to gather leaves and choose young bamboo tubes.
Special varieties of locally grown glutinous rice are selected for their fragrance and texture, including black sticky rice and ladu rice. Food preparation also reflects long-established roles within the community. Certain dishes are traditionally prepared by men, while aquat cakes and bamboo tube sticky rice are usually made by women. The cakes take nearly an hour to cook. Bamboo tube sticky rice is roasted for around 30 minutes. Once prepared, these foods can be kept for several days, ready to be shared with relatives, neighbors, and visitors. And during A Gia, hospitality has few boundaries. Regardless of clan or ethnicity, anyone who arrives during the celebration is welcomed and invited to eat. The festival usually lasts for 2 or 3 days. People visit one another to celebrate another successful harvest and offer simple wishes: good health, plentiful rice, abundant maize, and a prosperous year ahead. These wishes may sound modest, but they reveal much about the warmth, generosity, and communal spirit of life in the highlands. As living standards have improved, families are able to prepare more food for festival occasions. Celebrations are also no longer confined to individual homes or family clans. Increasingly, villagers gather together at the communal house. In recent years, many traditional communal houses have been restored or newly constructed with support from the state. These buildings have once again become important community spaces, places where people celebrate, meet their neighbors, and strengthen the relationships that hold village life together. From farming and house building to funerary customs and harvest celebrations, traditional festivals accompany ethnic minority communities through many stages of life. And beneath the rituals lies something profoundly human: the connection between neighbors, the relationship between generations, and the sense of belonging to a community. Today, almost every village in Aloi has its own traditional performing arts group. Paco, Taoi, and people from the lowlands can come together to the sound of drums and traditional wind instruments. After another year of work, uncertainty, and everyday concerns, the festival offers a moment of release. Villages organize folk singing, traditional music and dance performances, while reviving customs inherited from earlier generations. These activities allow local people to reconnect with their cultural roots.
At the same time, they show how ancient traditions can continue to live within a changing modern society. This cultural vitality can also become a source of confidence and motivation, encouraging communities to improve livelihoods, develop local production, reduce poverty, and contribute to the well-being of society. The traditional cultures of Vietnam's highland ethnic communities bring a unique spirit to the mountains and rivers around them. Every region has its own stories. Every ethnic group has its own identity. And even as society changes, these traditions remain part of a living cultural heritage, remembered, practiced, and passed from one generation to the next. Preservation, however, requires more than simply continuing festivals. Researchers are also documenting traditional cultural materials so they can be studied, digitized, and preserved for the future. Local communities are being encouraged to protect both tangible heritage, such as buildings, clothing, and ceremonial objects, and intangible heritage, including music, rituals, knowledge, and oral traditions. Protecting these distinctive cultural values is therefore not simply about preserving the past. It is about ensuring that cultural identity continues to have a place in the future.
Tiet Cho Ca Ti, the Khua wrist-tying festival. Deep in the majestic Trong Son Mountains, another ethnic community continues to preserve a very different tradition. Among the Khua people of Minh Hoa District in Quang Binh Province, it is known as Tiet Cho Ca Ti, the traditional wrist-tying festival. Today, the family of Ho Tao and Ho Ti Phai is holding the ceremony for their extended family. Every 3 years, the Khua organize a major celebration. In the years between, smaller ceremonies may still be held. The purpose remains much the same: to pray for happiness and good health, to wish strength upon younger generations, and to ask for abundant harvests and healthy livestock and poultry. Unlike some festivals that continue for several days, Tiet Cho Ca Ti usually lasts just one day, beginning early in the morning and ending in the late afternoon. Despite the passage of time, many of its original features remain intact.
The atmosphere gradually changes from everyday family life to ceremony. When the 2 trays of offerings are placed at the center of the stilt house, the ritual begins. The first ceremony honors the spirit of the land and commemorates the family's ancestors. For more than 30 minutes, prayers are recited. Then comes the heart of Tiet Cho Ca Ti. The elders take threads made from traditionally hand-spun fibers that have already been blessed during the ceremony. The fibers are twisted together into colorful strings. Then, one by one, the elders tie them around the wrists of family members. They begin with the elderly, then come the adults, then the children. Finally, the strings are tied around the wrists of invited guests. It is a simple gesture, but the thread is far more than a decoration. Within it are wishes for health, for happiness, for peace, and for the bonds connecting one generation to another to remain strong. Here, cultural heritage is not displayed behind glass. It is worn on the wrist. It is shared from one person to another, and it becomes part of a living relationship between the past and the present.
Yet no tradition survives automatically. Ensuring that these cultural practices do not disappear requires continued effort from local communities, authorities, and organizations involved in cultural preservation. Education and awareness are especially important. Younger generations need opportunities to understand their traditions, appreciate their meaning, and recognize that cultural heritage belongs not only to the past, but also to them. Preservation can also be connected with community activities, traditional arts groups, and local cultural movements, because what survives through these festivals is far more than a sequence of ceremonies. It is knowledge, memory, belief, music, food, family, and a way of understanding the relationship between people, nature, and community. Across the mountains of Vietnam, every festival tells a different story, yet together they reveal something universal. Human beings need connection. We need to remember where we come from. We need moments when families gather, communities reunite, and traditions remind us that we belong to something larger than ourselves. For the Ta'oi, the Paco, and the Khua, these festivals are not simply echoes of a distant past. They remain part of everyday cultural life. They carry the voices of ancestors into the present, and as long as they continue to be understood, practiced, and passed on, they will preserve the soul of each village, allowing its unique identity to resonate through generations yet to come.